Version client is a decently well-known client if you are active on Discord servers. However, I recently got to try it out and this is my experience with it. So generally, the UI isn't the worst. It looks kind of basic, very plain, there's no depth to it. So I tried out the search ASP or the block ASP. It seems to not have any chunk scanning mechanisms after like the packets, it looks like. And there's the refresh rate, which I feel like shouldn't be a feature, it should be like automatic. A user shouldn't have to think about that. Something that is super easy to flag, and there's no really way of avoiding it, is a jump reset. So I tested it out, and I couldn't really see if it was working or not, because it's hard to tell even with the jump reset enabled. But at least I didn't flag with it enabled. So I also tried out the phantom hand, which is basically just piercing, and I really cannot get the piercing to work, aka phantom hand. I tried multiple stuff. I enabled the never-right sword and everything. Even if you look at the search feature, I can't click on the never-right sword either for some reason. Even if I click anywhere on it, that bug happens. There's also this bug, which is just randomly flags simulation sometimes. I think it may be due to silent aim, the implementation not it being enabled. So I also tried the silent aim. There was a pretty obvious way to catch if it was good or not, and I was able to catch it being bad. This is because the sound rotations haven't been enabled for the light trap, because they use different vectors, which the Virgin developer forgot to include. I can also see he missed other vectors, because when the silent aim isn't targeting the player, it doesn't show up on the crosshair, so that's something he forgot to include. And the backtrack seems to be broken too, because this happens. I don't know if this is on purpose, but I can't even attack the player after the backtrack has been activated on the player, or whatever you want to say. The trigger bot has some problems. It doesn't correctly unsprint with the sprint enabled in the modules. So you have both sprint enabled and unsprinting. It doesn't unsprint, so they're not compatible. That's like a very big issue. And another issue with the sprint is that it keeps sprinting even when you're standing still. Not necessarily omni-sprint, but it's still sending the sprint packets when you stand still. So this is the double tap. Instead of like being a double tap that activates when you attack, this double tap works by looking at the entity, forcing you to have to attack manually before you can start walking again, which is really weird. I've never had a double tap like that ever before. So the anchor marker seems actually to be decent. It even has kinda working safe anchor, but with the silent rotations not being available for some reason. Like here's a safe anchor, it shifts, but I've seen a video with Vision Client where it silently rotates, which doesn't seem to exist in this. Both the outer crystal and outer hit crystal seem to work fine. It's only like one issue, and it's not even related to both of them. It's related to a module called Crystal Aura, and I cannot get it working for some reason. It seems weird. It has a millisecond delay instead of a tick delay like the other modules. It also has like an automatic detap, and like could get nothing of it working at all. Well, that's about it on this client. I've kind of used worse clients, but like this had weren't that big that aren't like possible to fix.